Welcome to the Good Talk, our recap and Q&A show where we go over the game we just played and answer your questions. And today we played a really interesting game. We were showing off the new AdMech balance update. If you don't know, just about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, they increased the points for the Adeptus Mechanicus, the Drukhari, a few others. This was the first time I had a chance to play a lot of my new models, which I had put together for competitive play. So I'd been playing the AdMech a lot competitively. Right. So it was interesting to see how the army has been altered by these points changes.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. And that was against the Death Guard. This was an army that didn't change in this balance update, but because its greatest threats around it changed, it naturally kind of got a little tougher. And it was cool to see how that particular matchup would fare. We wanted to see an army that was Death Guard that was a couple steps below where AdMech was, and see did these balance changes really did they close the gap, right?
Right.
And I'm curious, what do you think after seeing this on the table? How do you feel about it?
First impression is, I think it made the gap much smaller. I think
Right, sure.
AdMech is still more powerful overall, but I mean, we saw that game come down to, it was a 10-point differential.
And it could have easily been a 5.
It could have easily. Yeah, we talked about a bunch of big swings at the end, and so the AdMech felt less oppressive.
Sure.
I was able to sort of, it feels overwhelming at first when everything's on the board, but then you can sort of address the threats, and suddenly it's like, oh yeah, I kind of own this part, or I can do this thing.
Yeah.
And so it felt better than it's felt in the past. As an AdMech player, I've always felt like, oh yeah, I can play against that Death Guard. I'm not really concerned.
Yeah.
But this time, it did felt different. I'm curious what your thoughts are.
Yeah, because I would have basically had this exact same army, plus a unit of 20 Vanguard.
Yeah.
And that's a big...
Yeah. And so the Vanguard are no joke. They could have one-shot almost anything that wasn't a vehicle in your army several times, and it takes a lot of work to remove them.
Yeah.
And so that's, I was definitely down an asset. The army still felt like it had tons of units.
Yeah.
And I still had effectiveness. My combat units fought. My shooting units still shot. I still have a ton of tools in my toolbox to do the right thing just when I need it. And so the AdMech's still a very powerful army. But definitely good to see them taking them down a notch. I think on the one hand, the army was definitely undercosted. I think we can all agree about that.
For sure.
But on the other hand, the thing that makes them so strong is just the layers of rules and your ability to have the right tool for the right job, and they still very much have that.
Absolutely.
So even if their points went up further, such that I would lose another 150, 200 points, it would still be a playable army.
Yeah. Which is wild.
And so, the ability for, and we've talked about this before, when I'm playing my AdMech, I often, against competitive factions, feel like I have 500 points more than them. Against non-competitive factions, I feel like I have a full half an army more, a full 1,000 points more than that other opponent. And I think that's, they've closed that gap a bit, but not enough yet.
Not enough yet, especially for some of these other factions, which makes sense. You can't do everything with points. For example, this Death Guard list, I think in particular, doesn't have a ton of scoring potential.
Sure.
But Death Guard, that's something they struggle with in the past. It's like, they have not many units that can do actions, and their action secondaries are a bit limited. So eventually things have to come from other places, but I think this is an amazing step in the right direction.
Yeah. I think almost all the good infantry in the army can afford to go up in price again.
Yes.
In AdMech. I think the Skitarii on foot, the Vanguard and Rangers, could wouldn't blink at 1 point, and they would still be playable at 2 more points.
They should at least be the same points as Witches, which are now 12 points, by the way.
I agree. I also think that the Rust Stalkers, I don't think the Infiltrators are radically priced. I think they're fine.
Sure, yeah.
But I think the Rust Stalkers are still a bargain.
They are.
And I could see them getting 2 more points without any decrease in the amount anyone plays them. I think the Sterilizers are fine, but they could get another point only because of how good their strat is.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
But they're generally fine. They are much less durable, but their trick is a very good trick.
They're pretty fine, and they're not spammable, right?
They're not spammable.
You can't run a bunch of units and have them be effective because of that strat.
Yeah.
In a way, that's a good thing that strats can do, is to say you're going to have one unit that does the thing well. It actually means there's no point in running a whole bunch of them.
It gives you variety.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So,
but by the same token, I think, you saw them do a weird thing with Drukhari, which was reduce the cost of Kronos and Talos.
Well, Kronos technically went up by 5.
Oh, Kronos went up, but Talos went down.
Yes, Talos went down.
Right, and those were already
Homunculus went
playable.
down.
And I think, the AdMech book almost could have had the same thing happen, where you up these other units a bit more than they did.
Bring robots
but then
down.
you bring things like Castellan robots and Cataphrons, right? You bring Cataphrons down as well because they're not great. I think they could have kept, priests the same where they are, things like that. But some of the other things in the book could have come down in order to create variety. Yeah, Dune Crawlers are way
50 points.
Way up. Yeah, I still wouldn't play them. So because their weapons still don't have. They would just be bodies. You know what I mean?
Just have a huddle of 3 of them. 150 points for a huddle of 3 Dune Crawlers.
No, sorry. I thought he said down 50, not 250.
Right, yeah.
I kind of left it ambiguous because both are acceptable to me.
No. 50 points, we would spam.
I would play a huddle of 3 Dune Crawlers for 150 points.
But anyways, it was great to see, and it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And this was the first time we tried to play more of a competitive match on our Titans terrain.
Yeah.
And
that's great.
Today we made that modification where we had those half tiles, and that allowed us to offset the layout. And I think, although I like it happily without the half tiles, I really like the more competitive matches with those half tiles.
Yeah, it just takes
a great
it to the next
addition.
level. Yeah.
And I posted about it just before the game on Kickstarter, and people seem to be really excited about it as well. There was a few people who were like on the fence, and they're like, okay, now the half tiles I'm in.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely good.
Yeah.
A good upgrade.
It's a great addition, and I was glad that we were able to basically add it back in. Because as you mentioned, we did discuss it, and then kind of last minute we're like, no, let's not do it this time around. And then it's like, of course let's do it this time around. Let's make it happen.
Over the years, this project has changed shape a lot.
Exactly.
We add a feature, we take a feature away,
But yeah, because you don't want to overwhelm people or add too much, and we have so many ideas for the future.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, okay, what do we start with?
Right.
But the tiles, the half tiles just add so much.
Yeah.
And let's just start with them. So really fun game, really exciting. I'm really sad that we're not going to get to play for a little while. It's always fun to come visit.
That's true. Yeah. This is my. I was here for this last week and flying back home tomorrow. I bought a bunch of Christmas presents while I'm here, so I've got like suitcases filled with Christmas presents to take home.
I love it.
So I'm definitely Santa Clausing my way home right now.
Totally.
And I'm not. We haven't scheduled when my next game here back is.
We haven't.
But we'll figure something out.
We will.
Certainly LVO, you'll be there.
Well, I'll definitely be at LVO, and we're going to be doing a meetup for our members there.
Yeah.
We between now and then we have quite a few things you're going to be seeing over the next couple weeks. We're going to be putting up the emperors up on the Wall of Heroes here.
Oh yeah,
that's going to be a lot of fun.
It's
We're
happening.
also going to be solving for getting the emperors' names at the end of the show. Turns out it was a real technical challenge. We'll be putting We'll be putting up votes for the emotes that we're going to do next, and for our next army.
It's time.
So we have a lot of fun stuff that's going to be voted on by members and coming up and going on. So lots to look forward to. And then, of course, still special events. Throughout the end of the year, we have Thanksgiving this week. But then we also have Sanguinalia coming up in December. And we were just talking on Hobby Titans about what we'll do for Sanguinalia there. But we haven't really figured out all the details of our Tabletop Titans Sanguinalia celebration.
I'm excited.
So lots of fun stuff coming up, right?
So much fun stuff to look forward to. Well, we of course have lots of questions, but before that, we have some mail as well.
Ooh, mail time.
I think it's time to get to it.
So here, this one. Why don't you start with this one?
Pardon me if I stop for a second.
And we've got this one. It's so nicely wrapped.
It's like a Christmas present.
Yeah.
Pretty.
Oh, okay.
Classic.
But we'll let Adrian figure that one out for a minute.
All right. So this is from Disciple of Asmodai. We've been discussing. So he does have in here a commission that I'm doing, which we.
Oh, you're doing a commission. Nice.
Yeah, we had talked about it a long time ago, and it's been so busy. So now it's like, okay, now we can finally do it. So I'm going to be grabbing that, but also this is basically a note. I'm realizing. Can we read this?
Can't open the gift on stream. It says.
Yes. So I appreciate all your hard work bringing all this content to the Warhammer community. I've given you a prisoner found by my legion in the 40th millennium.
Okay.
He's
The
not
40th
yet,
millennium.
yeah. He's not yet repented. If Bridger wishes to call Dark Angels traitors, then he must at least get a game in with this bad boy. I hope you enjoy him. Thanks, Disciple of Asmodai.
Okay.
I'm super excited.
Is it a fallen? Does that mean it's a fallen?
Fallen.
I think it's a fallen.
I actually wish we had a fallen army. That'll be one of the armies that we put up for the vote, I think.
Yeah.
We'll put a fallen up army for the vote. I think we'll have a Raven Guard up for the vote.
Yes.
We're going to have an Iandin up for the vote. Ooh. Yeah, that was one of the ones on the list.
This is an absolute classic. There's a part that is in here somewhere, but feel the heft of this, and you'll know immediately.
Oh, it is.
This is a metal model. Where's his pistol arm? There it is.
No, his sword arms.
No, it's pistol. He
He's
has two
double
pistols.
pistols?
That's the whole thing with Mr. Cypher. This is the OG Cypher
This
model.
is the original Cypher.
In metal, which I love.
Yeah.
Kush, 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 kush,
Let's
kush,
show him
kush,
off.
kush, kush.
Oh, very cool.
He is very heavy, actually. He's like a chunky boy.
Yeah. The moment I felt it, I was like, oh, I know who this is.
I lost
This
his
is
arm
the
again.
OG.
I fixed him, but Bridger broke him.
I unfixed
Wow,
him.
Bridger. You're just
It's my
throwing
fault.
stuff around now.
Yeah, Bridger's just breaking.
Oh, there's
things.
like a little. He's pinned.
Yeah,
I'm
it's like a
surprised.
little slot.
How did we not have a Cypher? That's crazy.
Roll.
Yeah, he came in that
Alright.
box, which was Gilliman and Cypher.
Cypher and Yvrain.
Yvrain.
Which we have Gilliman and Yvrain.
I can't do it. I give up.
I fixed it so easily.
No, I gave up.
Oh, no, it wasn't Yvrain. It was
Your brain's only in the
Grey Knight's
It was the
Master.
Grey Knight
brain's in
Boldus.
this.
Yeah.
triumvirate box.
Yeah.
Well, this
Should
is,
get a
this is from the new one was from a
same
different triumvirate box.
Yeah.
Anyways, this is the classic Cypher, so super
Yeah.
excited. Big thanks to
Well, thanks for
Cycle
sending
Hazard
this.
Eye.
Yeah, we'd be very excited.
We're excited. This is gonna
Well,
be cool. Well, they got a fall
live
game.
camera
Fallen
work.
game in.
Not.
His arm did fall off,
My
but
bad.
we'll glue it.
That is Bridger's doing. You see that?
That is.
Yeah.
Well,
This is documentation of his
it's
crime.
not really my doing, but
Look, we fixed him and then you broke him.
Okay, so this next one, it says from Chris.
What's up, Chris?
what up, Chris?
No,
And-
it says something else from it. It says,
It's
"Honk,
Bridger's
Chris."
very favorite game,
No.
Taco Bell Party
No.
Pack.
We've already played this game.
It's the Taco Bell Party Pack card game.
Okay.
Bridger's actually has strong opinions about this game.
Okay. All right.
You
so
have played it.
He has played it.
during a board game night with Zach and Meg and John
Yeah.
and I, we played Taco Bell Party Pack, the card game, because a local friend gave this to us.
Okay.
In fact, it's on the shelf there. You want to grab it?
It is, yeah.
It's right
It's
there.
right there.
No, it's too far. I can't reach
Too
it.
far. All right. Adrian doesn't want to prove that we already have this, but
It's like a curse. It's like something you bestow on someone.
It's basically
And then
Jumanji.
It's like Jumanji, yeah. And you have to like leave it behind, and they have
this
to
one's
like
taped.
not notice.
I need that
You know
one.
what I mean? That's the way that you. That's, the
That's
only
what I
way you
did.
can-
That's what
Yeah.
I did. We played, and Zach said, "You cannot leave this in my house.
Right.
Like, you can't leave it here. This is going to be a problem." And then I hid it in his house. Of course.
Yeah. That's the way you get rid of it. It's like a tradition.
So.
There's little Dorito
it's,
chips?
It's one of these dumb hidden points games where every time you do something, you get an unknown number of points.
Right.
You can't make any decisions on
So, well, there are no decisions to make in this game,
Okay,
but
yeah.
it's like everybody's in it till the end because
Yeah.
you know who knows.
It's like Mario Party.
it. Mario.
Right, exactly.
I hate that about Mario Party. It's the worst.
And
Because
then
it's for kids. You're
no,
trying to game
I
it.
want to win Mario Party.
The better
Right.
you are at Mario Party, the more sad you will
the
always
fact
be at
that
Mario Party.
the bonus star is unknown bothers you about Mario Party?
Yeah, the whole thing. It's like, oh, you're like winning, and at the end, it's like,
the very end,
oh,
someone just swaps
Joe
with you.
Schmo is like the winner.
The
Like,
last place wins.
they were like the worst player the whole time.
But they got the bonus star.
yeah.
And then there's like these people who are trying to go to Taco Bell and they want something, and you have a hand of things to give them. So you have like
Really?
you have food.
So
have
you
Taco
work
Bell
at
foods.
Taco
You
Bell.
work at Taco Bell.
This card game gives you a job
Essentially-
at Taco Bell,
Yeah,
and
essentially
you're just serving degenerates.
you have food, and you give the food to the people who want the food. You get points.
Yeah,
That's the whole game.
And the points are just nachos.
Why didn't
well,
they make
they're
it about
specifically
like,
Doritos.
getting Taco Bell or eating Taco Bell? Or,
I mean, there's action cards, but the actions are like
Go to the emergency room. And instead of like going to jail, you
Yeah.
just like are sent to the bathroom, and then you have to like have a special card to get out.
in the bathroom for 3 turns.
Yeah.
It's so
well.
good.
Now we can play like an 8-player game of Taco Bell Party Pack, the card game.
Taco Bell Party Pack, the game stream.
Fantastic.
This
Thank
was
you,
one of
Chris.
those. There's a long line. Zach's very well read on the long line of corporate board games that are actually just other games reskinned.
yeah, yeah.
This was not a reskin of another game.
was like an original game.
It was
Spent
just
time and effort.
so uncompelling as a
Wow.
game.
Imagine being hired to do this. Someone did it. I'm kind of impressed though.
It's a paycheck, man.
yeah, you got to do it.
Wow, I love like even just the fonts on the side.
Yeah.
It's not actually clear how you should read this. Taco Party Pack Bell card game.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's great.
Wow.
Well,
I'm
the Taco
in.
Bell logo is vertical. They couldn't change the logo. It's always Taco Bell.
But then the second 2 words are also vertical, but they're a pair of words.
But the fonts are such. The fonts are different. So you know party goes with pack.
That's right.
Card goes with game.
That's too much thinking. This is for Taco Bell customers.
Yeah, right.
It's true. It is. I'm sure it's like a stoner game. It's
Yeah.
got to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it's not compelling when you're sober.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, also, we're just about to get into the questions, and what I wanted to say, this was actually the first Q&A that we've done this week during our Kickstarter
Wow,
campaign.
that's true.
So if you have questions about the terrain,
Now's the time.
you don't have to pay to ask them. Just ask them in chat, and
luck, Brian.
if we spot them,
Oh, boy.
we can answer them. So feel free, ask your questions, and we'll space them out between because I know we haven't had a chance to sit down and answer
No, that's
questions about
good.
that. So
The screen's just very far away.
For you.
that's true. It's a little closer for
It's
you,
closer for us.
marginally, in
is.
a way that's negligible.
Like, you're technically obscuring, like, shooting from me, but it's really
Yeah.
not clear.
That's right.
Thank you, Kylan. Hope you're all doing well. Need advice for starting a 1,000 point list of custodies for Crusade. Want to do a Biker Knights of Rohan style list,
Oh, nice.
so I can quote Lord of the Rings before every charge.
Naturally.
Well, of course you do.
Well,
You have to.
bikes are 90 points apiece,
Yeah.
so you get 10 of those.
Okay.
This is 1K?
And you get a bike captain, and that is an outrider, and you're done. So 10 bike models, which is unfortunately 3 boxes plus model, so you're gonna need 4 boxes of
Bike
bikes.
Captain's not 100 points, though.
He's more than 100. He's
Yeah.
somewhere between 160 and 180.
It's gonna
He's
have to be 9
165.
bikes, probably. 9 bikes.
Well, now it's conveniently 3 boxes.
I like I like adding a palace or two to like your fast thing.
That's Forge World, Brian.
yeah.
He's starting Custodies.
Yeah. You should expect, if you're starting Custodies, you should expect that you're going to have to get a bit of Forge World. You know what I
I
mean?
don't think that's true. I think this is one of the easiest armies to start in plastic and have a small, like a digestible collection. That's us. I understand.
I'm reading chat here instead of having to read it up there.
But what is up here
Is an advertisement for
not
some
us.
horrible mobile game.
And I was like, what am I looking at? Anyway, so Custodies are one of those factions where it's like one of the easiest to get in on the ground level and be like, okay, $300, I have an army. And I can play it like right now.
Well, and especially with bikes, it's so cheap, actually. You can, only a few bikes.
Is $180 and you can have the entire 1,000 army.
That's cool.
It's just 3 boxes of bikes.
4 boxes.
Yeah.
Great, because we can't even afford the 10th bike.
Captain bike.
Yeah, you need a
Captain and 8 bikes is all you can afford.
Is that?
Which isn't even a legal outrider. So
Wait, no, it should be 9, right?
90 times 10 is
You said
900.
No, but
And he's over 100.
And then you need like a shield captain on
because
foot.
it's min 3, right?
But that's
right,
like even 110 for a shield captain on foot.
Wait,
Correct.
So you'd have to do a patrol.
it's 90 times 9 plus him. What are you talking about?
Which is 810. So we can't afford it. 4 boxes of bikes.
Yeah.
Okay.
9 bikes and a bike captain, which is a legal outrider and
you
is
can
less
make it
than
work.
1,000 points.
You can make it work too.
Oh, 100%. Especially for 1K games?
Yeah. So there was a question I saw. Any Easter eggs on the terrain?
Oh.
There's some Easter eggs in the box here. If you remember when
Oh,
you,
yeah. I was
you,
like, what is he talking about?
even Bridger doesn't know.
Nobody's
don't
seen
know.
this yet.
What's it say there?
7.
What's it say
Am I supposed to
there?
be saying this out loud?
Yeah, you can.
Always be charging.
Oh, what's it? It's like in really light font, so you can't, or like text, so it's hard to see. What's this one? What do you think this
Good
one
talk.
is? Good talk. That one says good talk. And then what's this last one? What do you think the last one is?
Oh, I have to guess?
Yeah.
He's just a boy.
Yeah.
Can't change the past. Oh, I nailed it! Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I got all 4 of our catchphrases.
Well, you just read the first
You
3.
just read the first 3, but you know,
I could have guessed those.
He
If you
probably
just
could've
said, what
guessed
are our
those.
top 4 catchphrases? Actually, I don't think Good Talk would have made it. But
Really?
it's on our shirt.
It's just become part of you at this point.
Yeah.
It's just a thing I say. I don't know how it...
Well, that's how it started. Is
Yeah.
we just actually said it, and apparently that's weird.
There may be other Easter eggs. I don't want to spoil.
That wouldn't be Easter eggs then. Easter eggs then.
Yeah, but I see people saying something like, "Is the sword printed on it?" You know?
We should make
to
like
find out.
a little...
Yeah.
A pop-up sword?
A pop-up
pop-up
sword.
Oh
Yeah.
my god, that'd be amazing.
And there was a question. Somebody was trying to know what the stretch goal is. We just announced it today, so you can
Yeah.
go and see it on the Kickstarter page. It's on the page as a stretch goal, but also in the updates area. And basically, it's these 7.5-inch tiles, which allow you to offset basically the basic grid. And we're going to give them free to everyone who gets one of the expansion packs. So we're just going to put in the expansion pack for free. And we'll do that stretch goal if we get to 300,000 pledged, which we're more than halfway there. So we think it's pretty likely, but that'll be pretty good. And we might have other stretch goals if there's other great ideas. So
Yeah.
we'll definitely go in there. We can take another question.
Thank you, Ryan. Love you, Titans. Watch you religiously.
Oh, thank you.
COVID broke, but y'all worth the $5. Played Blood Angel and Tau 3rd through 5th, but it's been a while. recommendations on a budget return. Custodes, like I just said, $180 gets you a 1,000-point army. It's a goofy skew army.
Yeah.
But another $200 rounds that out in plastic, and now you have like 2,500 points of plastic Custodes, and you can kind of just mix and match. You get a little bit of everything.
It's quick to paint up too.
It's
true.
It's a cheap, fun army that's going to get a book very soon.
That's true. If you're buying new models, it's probably the most affordable.
The book is compelling.
But if you are, if you're a person who's willing to go secondhand or reclaim some models,
Space Marines.
and no, there's almost you kind of just look for deals, right? There's secondhand shops out there, and you can put some pieces together, kind of strip them, prime them, and you can get armies really, really, really cheap. Like you can get 2,000-point armies for less than $100.
Yeah, this is something that I do miss since the start of COVID is those like swap meets and stuff.
Those swap meets are great.
Yeah.
Like eBay is not the thing that it used to be or that people think it is, but the swap meets, people are super nice and everyone's giving each other good prices.
It's a conversation.
It's a conversation.
Yeah.
Like they're happy to see it's going to like someone who's actually going to play it. So those have always where I've found the most amazing deals from amazing people. So this is like I'm saying, this thing doesn't exist anymore. But if you do have any locally, go check those out too because they can be awesome.
Yeah.
You know, they want to see their army go to like a good home.
Someone's asking here, what is this sword thing that we're talking about? Oh. And if you don't know, we actually did this secretly for a year before we told anybody.
we played a game with ourselves.
We played a game with ourselves. Yeah, we have this little sword objective marker which came as a part of the Age of Sigmar objectives,
it's part of some objective kit basically.
And for whatever reason, we just jokingly always hit it on every battlefield.
Yeah.
It's pretty much been on every battlefield that we've ever played on every game. And for about the last year or so, we told people that it's there, and it's kind of like a hidden object game. Yeah. It was on the field today.
It was.
So it might be the kind of thing that you want to paint into the terrain potentially.
Totally.
And then Fear had asked, what was Zach's involvement? The terrain project actually long predates Zach's involvement.
It long predates Zach. That's
in the
right.
channel.
It's true.
Zach was making a lot of our terrain previously, but as far as the actual pop-up terrain project, Zach hasn't actually been involved. He didn't even really know about it.
No.
It was...
we kept it secret.
The truth, it was actually kind of a secret.
It kind of was, honestly.
We didn't really talk about it with anybody. And so he saw it for the first time. He saw pictures of it only 2 months ago for the first time.
If that even. Yeah.
And he didn't see any of the actual finished products until they were here in person.
Totally.
So he wasn't really involved. Yeah.
Yeah. But as soon as he found out, he's like, I want to make scatter for it.
Yeah.
And that was like immediate.
That's right.
So.
All right, thanks Magnus. What up, fam?
What up?
For Death Guard, do you think there's anything that they need in the next balance patch? Haulers and Blight Drones gaining core, removing dumb weapon restrictions on Plague Marines, Bolters gaining AP1, and Plague Weapon. Those are all interesting ideas. I think Haulers and Blight Drones getting core is...
broken.
No, we can't.
It's too good.
It encourages... Sorry, go ahead.
Well, what does it give them? It gives them reroll 1s from Lords, and it gives them reroll everything from Plague Weapons. And if they can reroll all wounds within 6 of...
no, it's not.
What's the name of that warlord trait?
Arch Contaminator.
Arch Contaminator, yeah. That's a big
No, it's
buff.
not reasonable.
And it encourages you to create these weird, like, this is a weird kind of skew list.
It's a castle,
But
yeah.
if you have this innately, it's like, well, this is what you should be doing. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whereas here, it's like you have to give things up. You got to kind of work for it.
And you don't want to do things where they take the best stuff and make that even better.
Yeah.
You want to bring up the other stuff.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah.
So I think personally, I'll say this. I think
I know what I want.
The Terminators are great. Let's make the Terminators even more disgusting. Let's make them even better.
I think they need a points decrease, honestly.
No.
Not
I want them
Death Shroud, Blight Lords.
I want them both to stay elite. I'm going to give you something crazy right now.
Okay.
They both get 1 more wound.
Sure.
I think that's the solution.
That's compelling for Death Shroud.
I want them to be mega durable.
Blight Lords have an output problem.
Yeah, they should
need
fix that
one
too.
more attack at least.
Well, here, let me tell you what they should have. Why are the Thousand Suns getting OBSEC Terminators and the Death Guard
don't? Yeah.
It's a huge problem because even when you have like Death Shroud, like they can kill stuff and they're decently tough, but all it takes is like one guy just touching in, being like, "Well, I have the objective." That's how I always play against Death Guard. It's like, yeah, I won't kill you, but I'll just win on points. So I'm not saying the Terminators should be OBSEC, but because the Thousand Suns ones are OBSEC, these guys should also be. Maybe it's just the Blight Lords, and that gives them a different role, or
That
something.
Totally.
would probably be enough for me to take Blight Lords. Because they have an output problem.
I think
with
that's
them.
interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's really
Yeah.
interesting.
For sure.
There's so many cool things you could do, but I'm definitely into those. Those are really cool.
Plague Marines definitely need a change
They
because
need
they're
something, yeah.
just underwhelming all around.
Yeah, well, they need something. It's hard to say what it is. I don't want them to be cheaper. I just want them to be something, more lethal in
Like,
some
would it have
way.
been crazy if they kept their Feel No Pain?
Probably, yeah.
If they had a 6-up Feel No Pain, is that crazy?
A 6-up? No, that'd be fine.
And it
6-up's fine.
Goes to a 5 next to a Plague Surgeon.
Oh, see, I like that.
And now there's
you're
a reason
giving,
to take
you're
Plague
giving like
Surgeons?
a build that's cool. I'm into
Right,
it.
yeah. Like now you
like
can
it.
build around it.
Yeah, because we know a 6-up by itself is like not game changing. Like we never take Plague Surgeons because they're not worth kind of lugging around for that.
Yeah.
So the 6-up is not crazy, but then now if you're willing to invest in that,
Could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they need
there's
something, though.
there's another question here. Someone asked, how long has the train been in development? That's a good question.
Oh, yeah.
And really, it's hard to answer because there was really 3 phases of the train.
Sure, yeah.
There was one phase where we knew we were wanting to make terrain, but we didn't know what kind of terrain.
Yep.
Yeah.
We thought about MDF. We thought about resin, pre-painted. We thought about paper in a couple forms. There's the kind of paper where you like punch it out and stick it together.
Yeah, exactly.
And we started leaning towards the paper, the punch-out paper, because it was inexpensive, easy to ship, and we knew the problems we wanted to solve.
Exactly.
And one of the other kinds of trains I really liked, I don't know if you guys remember, was the like MDF train that's like a nesting doll, where it fits
Yeah,
within
I actually
each
really
other.
liked.
Yeah,
John
yeah.
Frohelm had a set of that.
Yeah, there
stuff.
was a friend of ours who
Yeah,
had this
cool.
train because we wanted the train to pack away easy, transport
It's always
easy.
been one of the main
wanted it to be
features.
affordable. Like we
Yeah.
knew the bullet points we were trying to hit.
Yeah.
And there is this D&D company called Stonehaven
Yeah.
Minis,
They're
and
so
they
cool.
did these little hex tiles that pop up that you could print out.
cut
Buy and
them out
print out.
yourself.
Yeah, Bridger made a couple of them for us.
All of them.
Bridger made all of them for us.
a couple.
And
And that was instantly like, hey, we think this could work.
but it was labor intensive. That was the big problem with
so
it. is
much work.
You have to cut it out.
Yeah. You have to assemble them yourself.
And you have to assemble it, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah, so we
ton
thought,
of work.
so, that first phase was kind of figuring out what. The second phase was like, okay, I think this pop-up thing could be the right way to go.
Sure, yeah.
And then there was a phase of let's play with it. Like, what do buildings look like? Let's make some prototypes. Do we have a cool
Right.
idea? This is where we came up with the square tiles,
Yeah.
so they could be rotated and changed like that.
Modularity of
Yeah,
it.
modularity because that's a big part of terrain.
Yeah, and then what like size do they need to be?
Yeah, what are the
to
buildings?
play functionally? And then
Totally.
we knew we would have these additional constraints once you actually start trying to make the
Yeah.
thing, right? Well, this is a cool size, but how does it
Can
fold
it
up?
can it fold? Yeah.
You know?
And then we had the last phase, which is what I call the production phase.
Yeah.
And the production phase, we hired a full-time paper engineer who
Yeah.
specialized in making pop-ups
He's
and things
amazing.
like
He's
that.
done a lot
He's a
of
wizard.
really well,
Yeah.
like especially if you. Not to peg it just as this, but if you have like kids with pop-up books, he's done a lot for like big companies, big movies,
Yeah.
and things like that.
And you should see the cathedral, which hasn't been debuted yet. I'll show it during the campaign.
Yeah.
I'll show just the pop-up.
cool.
The sophistication is so crazy.
It's
So
He's a wizard.
He is a wizard. And then we hired an amazing artist as well. So of the phases, I would say it's about 2 years ago we decided we wanted to do terrain.
yeah, in some form.
It's about a year and a bit ago, year and a half ago or so, that we decided we wanted to do pop-up terrain.
Yeah.
It was about in, let's say, April, March, we started doing production. Maybe March
Okay.
Yeah.
that we started doing production.
Yeah.
And it was in September that we kind of had a first pass at it, where we're
Right.
like, we think we have an idea that can actually work,
Yeah.
and we will go ahead with it.
Exactly.
It wasn't really until August, September-y that we decided it was real. Everything up until then was
Yeah.
just very, hey,
things
maybe cool.
out,
We got like
maybe it'll
100
work.
things going on at any given point,
Yeah.
and it wasn't getting more time and attention than anything else we were doing.
Yeah.
We have lots of other ideas in the background, and it was kind of just one of the 100 hobbies we had.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think if you were working straight on it as fast as you could, you could probably do it in 2 to 3 months, completely start to finish.
Sure, totally.
But because we were so slow, like a year and a half
Yeah.
or so.
Well, yeah, it was. The channel was always kind of the main thing
Yeah.
that we're working on. So, and then, but we also did want to make sure it was all kind of worked out so that
Totally.
and we ended up going with Kickstarter because it was just kind of the best way to make sure we get all these pre-orders. But we wanted it was sort of untraditional as far as a Kickstarter in the sense that like we basically
It's
figured
done.
it all out.
Right,
So,
yeah,
we
yeah.
literally have manufacturer and everything. So, yeah.
I absolutely
It's been
agree.
a long journey, but
There was one more question on how does the terrain work with objective placement.
Sure,
And this is
yeah.
actually a good one. One of the very first things we did when we were drawing the tiles.
Yeah.
I created this file that showed every single placement of every objective from every mission.
Yeah.
And then I like drew the footprint of the buildings to ensure that every objective could always be placed. That will sometimes mean that the terrain needs to be rotated
Sure. Yeah.
to accommodate.
Yeah.
But that's why we allowed for rotation.
Exactly.
And so every single board layout is possible with our terrain and works well. And both from being able to be hidden and safe, but also with the objectives. And it's the same with your normal terrain. If you have your terrain and it's in a certain spot and you need to put an objective there, you have to shift the terrain. Well, same with us. You just shift it. Shifting for us is either swapping tiles or rotating.
Yep. We're at a half tile at this point.
Or add the half tile.
You know?
That's exactly right.
Yeah. Gosh, you had so many different layouts. It's crazy. Even just figuring out those first dimensions and how you can make it work was super interesting.
Yeah, a lot of work.
To see. I didn't have to do all the math on it, but
Absolutely.
it was cool to see.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Blake. Variant human time.
Oh, dang.
okay.
You're not
Let's do this.
variant human, you're Blake. But okay, I'll allow it. You and your Primarch are going to the family dinner. What family dish do you bring, and what topic would start a family argument?
Oh, man.
Okay, so the family dinner in this case is all the Primarchs.
Yeah, of course.
So not much.
All the Primarch.
It doesn't take
All the
much.
Primarchs.
Not
This is a
just
family.
not just this family.
If we're trying to make it like a Thanksgiving family, it's like you bring everyone.
Okay.
And it's asking for a conflict.
Right, because
You
it's
know what I mean?
Thanksgiving. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanksgiving.
So so what dish do you each bring? You got the con.
So me and Con, but I feel like our relationship, we're kind of two solo riders that,
yeah.
we rendezvous
Ships in the night?
occasionally,
Yeah,
but
okay.
we mostly do our own thing. So I think I would probably
I didn't know this. I'm into it.
Yeah, this is new.
like go to a grocery store and buy a pie.
Oh, okay.
Like a
Yeah, that sounds like a Bridger.
a
Yeah.
chocolate pie, right?
A chocolate pie.
Oh, of course. I love chocolate.
Chocolate pie? What is a chocolate pie?
No, like a chocolate
pie?
cream
Like a
pie.
mud
Yeah,
pie?
yeah.
Okay.
Right?
It's a weird choice.
It's a little
but-
specific.
The
But
con will have put a lot of somebody else's time
yeah.
into cooking like an entire buffalo.
Okay.
Right?
Entire buffalo.
He'll bring like a buffalo
from the
in
plains, naturally.
Yeah, from the plains.
from
Makes
the
sense.
plains.
I think
And he'll be offended. Like the juxtaposition of my
You'll be offended on your
store-bought pie
behalf. Yeah.
next to his buffalo.
You're right.
He cooked it for a week.
I think you know how you've seen people like cook turkeys, but they like make their own home cooking or deep frying solution, where it's like
Yeah.
super dangerous.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel like that is me and Vulcan's contribution.
Yeah, for
Is
sure.
like a mega elaborate.
like an oil
master
drum.
No, it's like a master crafted
Air fryer.
oil drum. Yeah, a master crafted deep frying solution for the turkey. And so it
gosh.
just. You definitely get just the perfect turkey because he's master crafted the hell out of this.
Yes.
It's a relic from the dark age, this deep fryer.
Oh my God, that's so true. I'm not sure what dish Gilliman and I bring, but I know that it's something that he's basically made by himself because I was totally gonna make it.
Yeah.
But like he's like already way pre-planned everything and blah blah blah. So by the time like I, as like a sane person, is sitting down to like go and get the ingredients and stuff, he's like already pre-planned it.
It's already done.
There's like Excel sheets around it. And then so it's just like, well, he's like, well, we'll just say it's from both of us. He's like, it's from both of us. And I'm like, babe, I didn't do anything for this, And so that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's from both of us, but it's really just him,
Yeah.
So
That sounds good.
Yeah.
It sounds great. Mr. King here asked if we can address the whole issue that's come up
issue.
around our Kickstarter here, and we're absolutely happy.
Yeah,
if
for
you notice,
sure.
we've posted a couple things. If you don't know about this issue, of course, about a year, maybe a little over a year ago, there was a Kickstarter campaign for another set of pop-up terrain called Upzone.
Totally.
And they came, as soon as we launched our campaign the next day, they posted a notification on their page
Yep.
where they were very disgruntled that we decided to make our own terrain. And they sent a lot, it created a lot of Crusaders who came to our page and were causing a lot of trouble. And, I think a lot of people have a huge misunderstanding about what happened here.
Yeah.
Yup.
We previewed Upzone.
We promoted their materials.
We promoted it last year during their campaign. They kind of, right at the end of the campaign, they contacted us and they said, hey, I know there's only 2 days left in the campaign. If we rush ship this to you, could you promote it? And we're like, yeah, you seem like good people and we think your product's great.
Yeah.
And we'd be happy to switch our schedule and promote them. So we promoted them completely for free. We said a bunch of nice things. We sent all of our fans to Co. and
It was
and back it.
the last week. the only time we possibly could show it because
That's
it
right,
was
yeah,
arriving
yeah.
late. And we said, you know what? We do have our only game we can before the Kickstarter ends. It's our
Yeah.
member show, which we value very much because we don't want to show our members things that we don't believe in.
Yeah, that's right.
And we showed it, and it was
Totally.
great. And we had a good
and
time.
I thought it was great. And at
Yeah.
the time, we had been thinking about doing terrain for 7-8 months or something like that.
Sure, yeah.
And but nothing was for certain. We had no production anything. We hadn't hired an artist or an engineer yet. We had prototypes of many kinds of terrain. And it seems that people on the internet are really angry that we didn't tell them all of our business secrets.
Yeah.
We're doing an advertise. Like if an advertiser
Yeah.
comes to us and says, "Will you advertise my product?"
Right.
We don't say, "You might want to know about all of our business plans for the next 2 years." That's not something that we do.
That's not how it works.
And so we didn't talk to them about one of our dozen side projects.
Sure.
Right.
Because it's none of their business. And
irrelevant.
It totally is irrelevant.
Yeah.
And we promoted them for free. Fast forward, we release our product. It has 0 things in common with the design,
Yeah.
art, engineering of their product. Ours is completely separate. There is not even a single thing anyone could find that is similar about them, other than their pop-ups. But
Nobody
they didn't
owns
invent
that.
the pop-up.
Set in a Gothic setting.
Yeah, sure,
I know,
right.
yeah.
And,
Shocker. It's
ours,
Warhammer.
Ours
Shocking.
is the pop-up terrain wasn't invented by Upzone, as we said. Stonehaven Minis had built it before that,
Yeah.
and many other companies had tried it before that. And we brought it out more than a year after their campaign.
They had a very successful campaign.
Totally.
Everything was good.
And we've only said nice things forever about them.
Absolutely.
Even when they, started trying to actively sabotage our campaign. We promoted their campaign for free,
Yep.
and they actively tried to sabotage ours. I thought it was very unprofessional. And people who think that we should have told them about our side project, first of all, even if we did, they would have still sent it to us to have us promote them.
Of course.
Because
It's free promotion.
Yeah, because it was an important free promotion to them, and also we can't do anything with their.
What are we gonna do?
We're not going to repackage and sell their.
It's craziness.
Their prototype. We know how to make pop-ups without having to have their
I mean, we had like the world's
hired-
premier pop-up engineer.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
it's pretty.
And our pop-ups have nothing in common with theirs. If you look, ours are quite a bit more intricate.
When you guys get them, you will see that it's not the same. And they also said
yeah.
strange things like, "Oh, we didn't send their copy back." I don't.
Were we supposed to?
I
Yeah.
had no
Did they
idea.
give
if
us
they're
an
supposed
address?
to. By the way, guys, when we send out copies to other channels to review, you can keep them. You can dissect them. You can pull them apart. I don't care. Like that's yours to keep.
So we were just at the end.
strange
A
things.
lot of our fans came out and were very level-headed and said, "Listen, this is a non-drama here."
Yeah.
But a lot of people wanted to make it into a big drama, which it's stressful enough trying to do a Kickstarter, but it's hard when there's people actively trying to
really sucks.
sabotage you. So that was sad, but it seems to be kind of blown over, kind of a minor issue.
People are smart. They can see.
They've
it for
calmed
what
down
it
after a
is.
day and they've realized, like, wait a second, what's the real drama here? Oh, there is no drama.
Yeah.
So disappointed that they decided to do that, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
Disappointed is the right word.
It's fine. It's fine. No big deal.
Anyways,
We're still really excited about it.
Yeah.
All right.
it's
Cool
gonna be
project.
awesome.
Yeah. Let's take another question.
Thanks again, Magnus. I really want Plague Marines to be better than they are. Maybe correct the Noxious Blightbringer relic to bring back the 5 of Invuln aura instead of enemies can't fall back on a 2-up once per battle.
Gosh, the 5+ Invuln relic was so cool.
It was so good.
That's what I was rocking. I do genuinely miss things from that time period when Psychic Awakening was out. I miss the Invuln relic.
That was a good time.
I miss the Chaos Spawn who get a 5+ Feel No Pain.
Yeah.
I was rocking the 4/5 man of them. So the problem with this solution, which is a good solution, I like this relic, is it requires a relic. It requires a relic, and that relic can
And
only
a
be one
character.
place at a
Yeah,
time.
exactly.
And a character.
Characters are expensive in Death Guard.
These troops are supposed to be good in and of themselves.
I agree with that.
Whether they're effective or they're cheap or whatever. So we need to solve them in a different way, I think.
I think giving them their Feel No Pain back was a compelling idea.
It's okay. I almost liked the OBSEC type thing or some sort of other negative
Well,
manipulation.
for the Terminators.
For Plague Marines, though,
But
how
for
do you
Plague
fix Plague
Marines-
Marines? How do you ever make Plague Marines compete with Poxwalkers?
And again, it's tough to compete with Poxwalkers, but also compete with like Rubric Marines.
Right.
Again, the Thousand Suns Codex, just like blow for blow, it's like
it's better.
how do you
Same thing, but
compare
better.
these? 5+ Invuln, Psychers, great special weapon that they're not.
We need to make their durability, yeah, maybe the Feel No Pain, but something about their durability needs to go up because that's what they're supposed to be about.
Yeah.
Right?
5 wound Plague Marines. Yeah.
5 ruin.
I agree.
It sounds terrifying.
It's tough because like they're surrounded by other units that do each of their things better. On the higher end, you have Terminators within their own book that are just them but better without OBSEC. On the lower end, you have Poxwalkers who are them but better with OBSEC, cheaper.
Yeah.
On their same price point, you have Rubrics
Yeah.
that are them but better, and Psychers. It's like, what makes Plague Marines unique and interesting?
What if they could like
Puke.
kind
They
of?
all have a 6-inch puke attack.
I'm trying to like brainstorm because what should they be able to do? Okay, be super tough, cool, but also like be able to do whatever it is.
What if
they
they're
do.
reanimated?
What if they're reanimated? What if they could perform actions no matter what? Like even if there's people in combat with you, you can raise your banner, you can puke on the objective. So like,
Oh, that's cool.
So you
they'll
can, like,
just
raise a banner and
exist.
charge.
You
Yeah,
can't
yeah.
stop them from doing their
They're
stuff.
like inexorable in
Yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Again, I'm slightly hesitant because you'd have to write a specific rule that overrides these other rules.
Yeah, yeah.
So you can come out another secondary, a general
Right.
secondary could come out that they break, but you know.
Yeah, but something. We
Something
agree
like
that there's
that.
something missing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Broken Chef. Mech Guns.
Okay.
I want to run 3 in Blood Axes and was thinking Smasher Guns, but thought I would check with the biggest boss on his thoughts.
What's the
found
mech gun?
Snickrot.
What's the mech gun?
What's the mech gun of choice?
It's the custom mega cannon. Honestly, it used to be smash cannons, and they look good. But the custom mega cannon actually gets you the consistency. D6 shots of D6 damage. Again, I said consistency and said two variable things.
right.
But the Smasha is 1 shot right now, and it's like a more powerful shot.
Yeah.
So especially if you're running a couple, like 2, 3, or 4 is kind of better because you can kind of calm that variance.
Yeah, right.
The Smasha, I wouldn't say you're wrong for taking the Smasha. It has a longer range.
Yeah, right,
Which is
which
great.
is big.
But I
'Cause they're
generally
really
prefer
slow,
them.
too.
Yeah, exactly. But I prefer the custom mega cannons.
These days, with how much trains on the board, range is rarely the problem. It's mostly like you're only shooting halfway through the board because there's this zigzag terrain.
Yep.
And so you're rarely getting, like 8th edition, you would shoot all the way down the board, but people put more terrain on the board now.
Yeah, and because of that, also the way that your mech guns can often be further up, and they're just obscured, and they scoot forwards, or they scoot to the side.
Yeah.
And that whatever you can see is whatever you're going to be shooting anyway. So
Yeah.
And the deployment matters a lot more.
Yeah.
Like you said, they're slow. So ultimately, if you're out of range, you're not going to be. You're done. Anyways.
You're done.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
Thank you for the question. Appreciate it.
Very expensive models to pick up.
Mine are made with kit bash stuff.
Yeah, yours are all custom.
Yeah.
I like the real model.
It's
but
a
it's just
sick model.
very pricey.
It costs more dollars, American dollars, certainly
points.
Australian dollars, than it does points.
Yeah. Which is not a place you want to be.
Not a place. You wanna
No.
be. Thanks, J Fund. Hey, Brian. Can you neither confirm nor deny that you play tested the Tau Codex? I'm a bit concerned about the turnaround, given GW's response to you at the start of 9th. Could they fix it?
Tell us in Morse code with blinking.
Man, I just want to say no comment to all of this. So if I did play test the book, I would give them all my feedback like any play test. If I haven't, I would be excited to play test it when it comes out. Like, I'm trying to give the most non-answer to anything. There's nothing I can say about play testing.
great
It's very
non-answer.
secret. And so you can be sure that I would be pushing to be a part of that project because I have a lot of experience with that faction, and I also am very passionate about that faction. And it's one of the harder factions for them to build. It's probably in their top 3 hardest factions for them to write rules for because it is naturally one of the most skewed, and skew is a challenge rules-wise. So
It's a balance, yeah.
I'm excited. They did say a little while ago that it was one of the books coming out earliest in the new year.
Yeah.
So that would lead you to believe that it's probably been play tested.
I would imagine so.
By
yeah.
somebody, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
I should
Yeah.
hope.
If the book is written or has existed at some point, then it will be later on.
Yeah,
All right. Cryptic answer.
yeah, it's good.
Thank you, Godforge. Hey, guys. Let's say Noise Marines get the full Death Guard treatment.
Okay.
Let's hope so.
Hopefully not, well, but like actually are good.
Well, let's say the full Thousand Suns treatment.
Yeah.
All right.
What units do they get, and accompanying wild stratagem to give them challenge must be named after a hair metal song or band.
Oh, God. Okay. All right. Sorry. I'm ready for this.
All right. So we're talking about an Emperor's Children, like codex.
Totally.
Okay.
Totally.
What do we need to see in an Emperor's Children codex?
A Primarch. Step 1.
Naturally.
Yeah. Step one.
Snake Primarch.
Yeah, clearly Snake Primarch.
It's not even Fulgrim.
No, it's just,
No, it's just a snake.
The snake
It's
guy.
Not even a sentient snake.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
just a snake.
We need Sonic Dreadnoughts. Classic
Ooh,
Emperor's
yeah.
Children unit that
Yeah.
has existed in the past in Forge World.
Okay.
And it should exist again as, and they're actually Dreadnoughts, they're not Hellbirds.
Right.
And they should be like Transformers. You know the boombox
Yeah, yeah,
transformer?
yeah.
It's that.
Boombox Transformer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm super into it. One thing which I've always liked that connects to a conversion I'm planning to do at some point.
Okay.
I want like a exorcist, but for like a Sisters of Battle exorcist, but for
Like a giant
like,
organ.
Oh, yeah.
a big organ with big old like speakers
speakers,
stuff on the
yeah.
back. That'd be super sick. So I'm gonna convert one as my Scorpius from Emperor's
Okay.
Children if I do that.
I want like Age of Sigmar. I want like half snake people.
Half snake
Like,
people.
you know
Let's
how
not
you
have
have-
the snakes.
Yeah,
You want Slip?
I want Slith, but I want them to be like my Zangor equivalent.
Oh, I like it. I like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that'd be super sick.
Yeah, I'm really into that.
Yeah.
But they were like, yeah, okay. I mean, they were experimenting with like all kinds of weird stuff. Wasn't Fabius Bile
He was
hanging
just-
out with them
He was
for a
just
while?
connecting people together.
Yeah.
He was like making bug people.
He was
and-
an Emperor's Children, making
Yeah.
Yeah.
all sorts of stuff.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
made clones of Horus, man. That guy
Yeah,
was
he did.
nuts.
Yeah, he'd do
He
anything.
had problems.
He had
Yeah.
some serious problems, but he's like separated from them.
Yeah, he's broken off. All of their like first lieutenants kind of all broke off.
I know, right?
Yeah, Armand did, and
Oh, they were all
obviously
moody
Typhus.
and
Typhus
jealous
all
of
did.
each other.
Yeah.
and-
That's what
Yeah.
being chaos is all about.
Yeah.
Being moody. What about we don't have any hair metal bands that?
Okay, so we need a
based off of-
stratagem named after a hair metal band.
Or
Oh.
a song.
or a song.
Or a song.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of. It has to be punny.
It's
of
before
course.
my time. I can't.
You never. You know what's
not.
these songs.
I would know them if I heard them,
yeah.
but I wouldn't know their names.
Well, obviously one of the strats is called "Kiss from a Rose."
You think Kiss
Is that hair metal?
No, he's thinking of Guns N' Roses.
No, I'm not
Kiss
thinking
from
of
a Rose is not hair metal.
That's not hair metal.
That's
Well,
R&B.
okay. That's true. That's true.
So
But
I'm gonna
think
go.
about that name.
If we're picking, I'm gonna pick a strat name that's a hair metal band. The closest strat name I could take is Twisted Sister.
Oh yeah.
So I'll go Twisted Sister.
Okay.
And
What does that do?
okay, let me tell you.
What does that do in the game, right?
No, I got it. Hold on, I'll figure this out.
You're stalling.
It's like it's a D3 table of changes for the weird Slith unit. Is that you upgrade your Slith unit?
It could definitely work. One of the things I was thinking about was something weird where you want to inflict pain on that unit, and then
Right.
you actually benefit from it in a weird way. So I was thinking of something weird, like you give an enemy unit a feel no pain, and then
Okay.
every time they save, like every time they like save from it, you
Right.
get like some crazy buffs. And
Right.
so it's like a weird risk reward thing, but like
Yeah.
the payoff is huge.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it gives you some like crazy buffs for the game or something.
The Sigmar does that a lot, where it's like you can offer them a reward,
Yeah.
a temptation,
Right.
And it's like they can deny the temptation and just take D3 more
Right.
wounds, or they can accept it and it'll be like they'll be like +1 to hit. I think is
Totally.
hitting on 2s.
This is
but
the kind of thing
then
I want.
Something can happen at the end where they just like die or something.
Yeah,
you know?
that's kind of what I want. I want like this,
Yeah.
this buff to them, but like it's really a buff to you.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Something weird like that.
And it's called Twisted Sister.
Twisted Sister. That's me.
Nailed it.
Yeah, we did
All
it.
right.
Moving on.
Moving on simply.
Moving on.
Don't overthink it.
Don't overthink it.
There were a few terrain questions back there. I don't know.
Oh,
if
okay. Well, you can take another question. I'll read and find one.
Well, this is the last super chat, so I don't know if we want to do that. I think we should.
No,
Do you see
missed-
another
skipped
train
one.
question?
I didn't skip one.
True Sherlock.
Oh, I did skip one. Thanks, True Sherlock. Hey, Titans. Just wanted to say thanks for the T-shirt and the CSM box. Can you purchase the Titan terrain in any way other than Kickstarter?
Great question.
Currently, no.
Currently, just
Currently.
this. Yeah. Again, we talked about the fact that funding goal of 100,000 is what we needed to make sure that the project could continue essentially. So before Tuesday, we were like, hopefully this goes well. And all this to say, like now we know it can go well. Obviously, there's more things planned in the future. But right now, the first sure way to get it immediately is the Kickstarter.
That's the way you have to do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a question here. After playing a few games with the pop-up terrain, how does it compare to others, to other kinds, and especially with bigger or heavier models? Well, for me, we have a lot of terrain here. We have maybe 7 or 8 different terrain sets.
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating when I say, from a gameplay perspective, Titan's terrain is the best to play on because it's naturally symmetrical. The terrain is all very clear. it's all kind of just the right size. A lot of the other terrain pieces we have are like oversized, which
Yeah,
can be
that's true.
very hard to balance.
Yeah.
And they're not super symmetrical, where it's like one size has a weird oversize, and we pile 4 pieces together on the other side to scramble it. It all looks consistent because obviously it's all painted to be identical. And so once you get the scatter onto it, it's one of our best looking, most balanced, most playable boards, which is kind of crazy to say after some of these boards were like $1,600 in kits and like 8 months of painting. And then this little box just comes along and it's just actually a better game. Pretty crazy.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't. The weight has been a non-issue. I was also curious.
The weight is a non-issue.
And this is even with lighter stock, right? So this is a prototype model, which is like a third of this of the strength of the actual model, and there was still not a problem.
Yeah, you could put every unit that could fit anywhere will fit without impacting it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even really bend when you put the models on it. It just like is solid. And once it gets the full paper stock, I would claim that it can hold any model that could fit there without even bowing at all.
Oh, I'm gonna get my Squiggoth.
Yeah, the Squiggoth might do it.
It'll bow a little bit.
I don't know if you remember on the one big crate, I put the Astraeus on it.
Oh, that's
The
right.
Astraeus is like
yeah.
9 pounds.
Yeah. That's true.
And it wasn't
You
an
put the
issue.
Astraeus on the
You
crate?
did
I did.
actually. Yeah.
You're a monster.
I forgot about that.
Because I wanted to see. I don't know. And it's fine because, right angles, they're pretty strong.
Right angles.
Well, just there's redundant support structures.
There's
And in that
many.
crate, talking about this paper engineer being a wizard,
Yeah, that's our most complicated
that
pop-up.
guy, he...
That was the one when
Yeah, I have no idea how he solves these puzzles.
it was madness. The previous version, Bridger and I actually tried to make a lot of these by hand, just to like see how it works, see how many if we could like make this prototype by hand. Oh my gosh,
That one was-
the crate was the one where we're just like we are not.
There's like
Yeah.
layers
Just rub
and
your
layers
hand.
of supports. Because I was like trying to learn the paper engineering.
Yeah, you were the one. Doing
I was like, because I
everything.
understood.
You had no idea.
I
I even
actually
read books about it.
I read book. I was studying. I was doing research.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, we're gonna make pop-up terrain. Let's go.
This is a very basic book, but yeah, this one was
Like-
one
I
of
learned
the
a
first
lot
books.
from this book.
Yeah.
It covers all the basic concepts.
That's all the basic concept, but not the advanced concepts.
Not some of the stuff he did in those crates. Those
Yeah.
crates are magical.
That's because he's a paper wizard. Okay.
he probably writes books like that. But yeah.
He literally makes books like that. Yeah. So there's a question: Are there any plans for half-size tiles with pop-ups on them? No. I'll tell you why. Because if you were to make a half-size tile with a pop-up, then you have to fold it in half again, because it's only with a fold that you can create a pop. And the size of the tile is proportionate to the size of the pop-up.
Yep.
And so you would be immensely constrained. Like maybe you could put like a little rock or like a tiny crate or something small.
Or a sword.
Or a sword, yeah.
Oh.
But then it would be out in the open. It needs to be hidden.
Right.
It's the whole tile.
The tiles of the sword.
So we want to use it as a spacer because also having negative space allows you to drop your own scatter or your own little crates or your own whatever else. So I think that's useful in its own regard anyways.
Yeah.
So you could even sometimes just say, I'm going to put these 2 half tiles together and make another blank tile that I'm going to put my own thing on.
Oh, totally.
Right? And so that's another option for you anyway.
That's another reason we wanted to play with some of the bigger scatter too. It's like we have a little small scatter, but also you
Yeah.
can totally mix and match. You know, if that's what you're into.
There you go.
Why not?
Did you have any more before I hit the last super chat, Brian? Because I'm going to cut you off. This is going to be it.
You can. Oh, you're gonna end it. Oh gosh, don't end it.
I haven't read it, so I don't know. While we're here, while we're doing terrain Q&A.
This is your last chance to get questions in, guys. For today.
I'm reading it. There's not. I don't really see.
There's one right there.
Okay.
Bridger, did we?
Terrain question. Notice 2 tiles were half during the game in the middle on both sides. How many of them do you get? Well,
Oh right, yeah.
this is the stretch goal. So you're going to get 2 of these. We're going to give them free in the expansion pack.
Totally.
So they're not in the base set. They're going to go in the expansion pack. So that's if we hit the stretch goal, which we expect we will, but we'll see. Yeah, we can hit the last question.
Yes.
All right.
I was gonna ask. I remember like 2 hours ago where I was like, "What should we vote on?" Did you ever?
People really want AOS.
They want AOS.
So we'll put an AOS vote up.
Okay. Wow.
Sounds great.
Is Zach free on Tuesday?
No, he's not.
That might make AOS challenging.
You and me.
But then who's producing?
Mel's producing.
There you go.
That's already the case.
We solved it. And now we have a second to last.
She gets to do another Sigmar game. Oh, cool.
Oh, do I get to play Gargants? We just played Gargants.
We just played
I
Mega
just
Gargants.
played against Gargants.
Yeah. They're a
please,
little. The Mega Gargants are a little mega.
They're
Mega.
good. Just out of the
And-
box, they're good. But if we get more of the smaller Gargants, they're less impressive.
No, they kind of suck.
Yeah.
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 That's the point.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah,
But
it
then
really
everyone's
turns it down.
sad.
In fact, we have more. We have like 6 more.
I don't like the look of them. I think the models are
Sorry,
awful.
Brian.
Because
Well,
they're
they're
definitely designed to that rectangle base.
like 12 years old.
you know?
Yeah.
They're like
little
old.
diaper
Yeah,
babies.
they're like fitting within their little
Yeah.
sideways.
Yeah.
So I don't like that about
Yeah,
They're
them.
you have a
really
thing
old.
about that.
I really don't like it.
Even the, what was it, the...
Yes, I didn't like that one either. Whatever one you're talking about. Oh, we got another question. We gotta keep going here.
We have a lot. So thank you, Magnus. Honestly, would really like an infantry-heavy support option for Death Guard. They don't have a single one. Makes it impossible to make a Terminus Est brigade.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
So
rough.
like, I guess
Heavy support. What would you do? Like a
obliterators
Obliterator
are
kind of
like
thing.
the yeah. That's exactly.
Death Guard should have... There you go. Death Guard should have gotten mutilators.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I take it back.
Why not?
Because...
Okay. Hit me.
Because of all the wonderful things he does. Anyways, because they already have Blight Lords and Death Shroud, which are largely
Yeah,
melee
you're right.
units,
You're right. They're the same thing.
They need like a shooty, chunky
I want
boy.
someone who are like shooting like sludge at you.
Yes. No. Like if you take the obliterator size model.
Yeah.
And you have a guy and you give him like a
Like big tanks on his back.
5-inch move and he has an 18-inch strength 6 AP2 flamer.
So like a non-character version of the Flame Boy.
Yeah, but like some more like heavy weaponish and less like.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
It
That's
could
what
have,
I want.
like-
And
You're like,
I want him
they're
to have giant sludge tanks on his back.
Yeah. And it can have like a solid shot or the flamer profile.
Whoa.
So that it is actually a heavy support, not
They're
just a guy with a
Eradicators.
flamer. Because like strength 6
No, no,
AP2 is
cooler.
not.
They have Super Soakers with plague.
Yeah.
water
He
in
like
them.
just vomits out of a. Oh, you know the guy
That'd
who
be
has
cool.
the mouth that like goes around him and comes out? If they just have giant mouths that just puke.
Yeah. You know what? Hot take here.
All right.
The Lord, the new Lord that nobody plays,
Uh-huh.
he should have been them.
The Lord of Virulence.
Yeah.
Yeah. They didn't do a good job with him.
He should have just been another unit.
Yeah, take that, GW.
Yeah, they could have made that work. Like a virulent squad is what you're saying, kind of.
What?
Right? Like
Yeah.
That's what they should be called, the Virulence
The
Squad.
Virulent Squad.
Virulent Squad.
Also named after a hair metal band.
there's a
there's
question
another one.
about any plans for army-themed boards.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
We want to do that. And someone saying, hope the future for Titan's terrain looks bright. Seems great and user-friendly.
Thank you.
Thank you. We actually think it is very user-friendly.
Yep.
And it's trying to be super mega accessible.
That's what it's
and
about,
make it
right?
easier to have a great table.
Yeah, like, we're going to use it because we love it, but really, this is thinking about all the problems that we've had before we had all this space to work with,
Yep.
right? We know that the majority of people, we've kind of grown up and been, playing in your garage or on your coffee table or whatever. So it's like, how do we try to solve that problem, make that easier? This is not for us, this is for you guys, so
Yeah.
thank you.
Someone else asked, how many expansion boxes are we planning? Just one.
100.
No, just one. So here's the problem.
Maybe they mean future boxes.
No, so we're gonna let me clarify. We have core sets. The core sets
Right.
are these like
What
12
is this,
tiles.
magic?
Yeah. So we have a core set which is like 12. That's what we call it on our Kickstarter. Core set, 12 tiles. It's a whole board. For those, we hope to make
100.
infinite of those. We hope to always have new ideas, new designs, whatever.
Yeah.
We're going to do that into the future. We will definitely have more next year. We're already underway on our next core sets. Each core set will have at most one expansion. And the problem with that is, the reason for that is because the expansion boxes, when we make them, we still have to order a minimum quantity. Let's say at least 5,000 we have to order. Now, by its very nature, the expansion box will be less popular than the core set.
Yep.
And so let's say you only sold 5,000 of the core set, and then you sold now 2,000 of the expansion box. Now you're just sitting on 3,000 in a warehouse. It's actually a big
I'm going to build a
problem.
box for it, Brian.
Yeah,
Box
exactly.
for it.
So we have to be careful with the expansions. We can only do expansions when it's a really popular core set.
Right.
It was a risk to do it this first time out. Now it paid off, and it looks like most people on Kickstarter are going for the expansion.
Yeah, it turns out.
Which now that we're putting that half tile, I think even more people will probably go for the expansion, which is great. And if that stays the case, we'll do it more often.
Right.
More than anything, I'll probably look to make the core sets just better. Have more extra tiles, have more things like that.
Moss Pack?
That'll
Maybe.
probably always be an expansion because that'll work for multiple sets.
Yeah, good call.
So that one's not as set locked.
box,
but
yeah.
he's talking about having a small box that has the scatter terrain, like the little crates, the moss, maybe the trees. And the thing is, we can make that work for multiple sets. So
It's true.
And that kind of goes
that's
to
the way
answer this question. Is there any plan to expand to other materials or maybe resin as a supplement?
yeah, just for the small things though, because we want everything ready out of the box.
Yep,
No assembly, no painting. That's our product. If you want assembly and painting, Games Workshop makes the best terrain kits in the
Top
business.
tier. Yeah.
They're amazing.
Yeah,
but
You need
it's
months.
hundreds or thousands of dollars to build a board, and it's many months worth of work.
Hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, hundreds or thousands of dollars, and many, many months, lots of work and skill, and then you have all the other problems that we talked about, transport, whatever, balance. So, for us, we're trying to be about accessible, affordable, easy to use, etc. That's the brand we're kind of sticking with. That's kind of what we're focusing on. We can take another question.
Yeah, thanks, Broken Chef. Sticking it to Bridger, how would Tzeentch demons look in AOS? Largely pink and blue. I've never given them any thought, but no, Brian used them. They changed. If you're asking what an army of Tzeentch demons in AOS looks like, they got changed pretty significantly in a balance patch 3 months ago, 2 months ago.
Which change was that?
The way pinks split.
Oh, they got changed again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it was a problem.
Well, they were an oppressive, abusive army.
Yeah, right.
They've always been a problem. That book, I had the second edition Disciples, I think. Actually, it was the first time the Disciples actually came out.
Right.
Second iOS. And by the end of the edition, almost literally the entire, I had a print book, the entire book was invalidated because it was all just FAQ'd.
Yeah.
In some attempt
Yeah.
to make it work. And every time it comes out, it's a problem because they take risks and try to do cool stuff, which is awesome.
They do, but it just always stacks wrong.
yeah, and yet again, right out of the gates, it was like, pinks. Well, that's not going to work.
They've had some crazy characters, some crazy spells.
Yeah.
Their ability to manipulate dice in a highly random game.
Well, yeah, so that's part of, I think,
Yeah.
what they want to. So briefly, they have basically miracle dice, but they're fate dice. You
Yeah.
free roll them. You can use them later on. They generate points by casting stuff, which they can then use to summon in units.
Yeah.
Largely smaller utility units at this point. And they have ultimate psychic mastery, as you can imagine. And then lastly,
And now they have like goals. Like you can give a squad a
that's
thing
right.
they're trying to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And
See,
I
when
haven't
they
even
do,
played the
when
new
they
book.
achieve that goal,
Yeah.
they become better at doing the thing
Well,
that they just tried
that's
to
so
do.
cool.
I had that rule when I was playing the last time we played.
but I hadn't.
Yeah.
I realized when
Yeah.
you were prepping for that game, I
Yeah.
was like, I actually don't know
You
anything
didn't know
about this
those
new
rules.
version.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
But the way the army looks on the table is a bunch of chaff, mostly pinks, surrounding just mega characters. Like
Yep.
super psychers, mega wizards, which is how it should be.
Yeah, I agree.
It's very thematic.
There's another question here from Jason S. saying, will we be getting full tiles with no terrain on them so that we can use our own terrain in some spots? And yeah, the main core set comes with 2 empty tiles.
Right.
And those empty tiles allow you to put whatever. You can see in this game, I use the empty tiles to put the big foam kind of rock walls.
Yeah, it's cool.
But in previous games, I used it to put the trees on.
Yeah.
You can easily put crates or whatever you want.
You can also use it as a crater. At least this design.
Yeah,
basically
it has like a
crater
little
in the
area,
middle.
and you could choose to call it a crater.
Yeah.
So yeah, it comes with 2. I didn't want to do more than that because I didn't want you to buy a pop-up terrain box
it's all
that
not
like
get pop-up.
didn't have pop-ups.
That'd be a little-
So that wouldn't be too good.
Thank you, Hyde. For the Titan terrain, is there a gantry or industrial setting down the line? And would they be able to be
question.
lined up like the GW walkway terrain?
That's a great question. That was
interesting.
one of my initial design inspirations. Was very much that Mechanicus zone
Sure, yeah.
kind of feeling, and that is still on the docket as one of the styles that we're going to explore in a future set. It's probably not immediately the next set. I will say I'm kind of into this like ruin with snow, like this craggy, rocky,
Ooh.
snowy,
I like that.
ruiny
Like
kind
a
of
death
place.
world kind of a thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Frozen wasteland.
Yeah,
if you will.
frozen kind of world. I think that's pretty fun, and I think you can. There's a couple things that's hard to appreciate that you can do something with this terrain that you can't do with normal terrain, which is it can have such a cohesive look and
Aesthetic,
style
yeah.
where the buildings tie right into the ground, and there's pieces. There's like an explosion on the wall, and there's pieces of the buildings on the ground,
Right.
Yeah.
and you can have this continuous texture with such detail. And so we get to tell stories with these boards that you don't get to tell with typical terrain,
Yeah.
or it's a lot more work.
Yeah.
And so when we make some of these boards, you can really look at what could you do only with this printing that you couldn't really do well. And this kind of snowy landscape, you can do something really, really cool here. So I'm looking into that, but there's many, many. There was also this kind of poison sewer kind of place.
I haven't heard of this one.
That I had, yeah, and it was all like pipes with like,
I remember that, yeah.
you know.
I remember the pipes, yeah.
Lots of pipes, and it had some of the
We went back and
Mechanicus-
forth on those pipes a lot.
Yeah, that's true. And
I thought it couldn't be done.
and anything
Of course you
can be
did.
done. And yeah, nothing is possible.
Nothing's
for Bridget.
possible.
Yeah, so there was lots of things like that too, which I think could be cool. But there's no shortage of creative ideas. You can do
yeah.
anything. I also wanted one that was more indoors, like it's
How's that like?
almost more like a Zone Mortalis in the sense, but
yeah.
it works for 40K. So you're inside of a
Yeah.
either you're almost like underground or you're inside a facility.
Spaceship, maybe?
Yeah, spaceship or facility or something like that.
Yeah.
And so lots of cool ideas.
Yeah. You're gonna do one that's like the inside of like a supermarket store.
Yeah, that's
with
right.
like different shopping aisles.
Yeah.
Oh, so we
different
can
aisles.
play Marvel Crisis Protocol in it?
Oh man, kind of.
Yeah.
Man, I actually kind of want to play that game.
It's like pop-ups of aisles of a supermarket.
yeah. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like the checkout stands.
Or it's just like
you
an
know?
average street. Like it's like a street
Real
in like
lamppost comes
rural England or something. It's just
Yeah.
all these little cottage houses.
But that could actually be a thing. That could
yeah,
totally be a thing.
not in 40K, but
But in Marvel
but
Crisis
in Marvel.
Protocol.
Marvel Crisis Protocol. Yeah.
That game's on the up and up, Brian.
All of a sudden, yeah, we're gonna bring it out. Really take it to the masses.
A lot of people have been asking us to play it.
I'll play it.
No, it is cool.
It's cool.
It's cool.
But yeah, I almost like how like mundane the terrain is on that. Like
Because it's just the normal world.
just a little city.
Just
Yeah.
skyscrapers and little shop,
I like it.
light posts, benches,
Totally.
trash cans.
Spider-Man.
He's not terrain, Adrian.
Oh shoot.
Yeah, someone's asking, have we thought about a pop-up underhive set? Yeah, definitely. As far as vertical, there's a hard cap on how tall you can be based on how large the pop-up is. And so we're constrained to this box size. This box size is about 15 by 15 square. And so that kind of constrains our maximum height. We can go a little taller than we are now. Our tallest building is maybe 8 or 9 inches tall. And we can go a little taller. There's another trick to go even taller, which is instead of a one-fold,
it's a
a
two-fold.
multi-fold. And in fact, that's how our cathedral works. So
Spoilers.
our
Spoilers.
cathedral is a multi-fold.
Brian, people don't know that yet.
I know.
Now they
And
do.
now they know.
Now they
Giving
know.
away the barn.
Yeah, I know. But we'll show
Our
it later.
industry secrets, Brian.
Later.
Too soon.
Too soon, Bridger. Too soon. But the cathedral will be the tallest structure by far, for sure.
As it should be.
But we're looking at an underhive style set as well.
Totally.
All right, thank you, Steven. Get Mel to play her water elves. on Tuesday. We haven't done Deepkin in a while.
We can put it as a vote,
Yeah.
and then we'll let fate decide.
Yeah.
Be like, by the way, so I'm producing today, and you are playing.
that's still one of the strongest factions out there, right?
Is it?
Deepkin?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I haven't been super following the meta lately.
Wonder what their build is.
I
Do you
think it's still
eels
like
again?
top 3.
Is it eels again?
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
I'll bet it's eels again.
I just said I don't know.
It's always those
And I was
eels.
still like about to answer. I'm like, what am I gonna say? What am I about to say to you? Yeah, it's eels again. I don't know.
There's a question here about when do we expect to ship the boxes to backers?
Ooh.
We have a detailed timeline breakdown
It is
on the Kickstarter page,
yeah.
so I don't want to misquote my own timeline.
Yeah.
But just as a heads up, basically the design is finished.
Yep.
The files are already at the factory. We are waiting until the Kickstarter ends to know how many we need to order.
The size, yep.
And then we'll place the order and they'll get to work. And manufacturing usually takes a couple months, anywhere from like 6 weeks to 2 months.
Sure.
And then shipping takes anywhere from, let's say, typically 8 weeks-ish to however long. Like,
Infinite.
hopefully your container does not fall into the ocean and sink.
Or just dock outside of a port for roughly forever.
Yeah, funny story. I don't know if you've ever seen in our local gaming store.
Yeah.
There was this other pop-up, not pop-up.
It's
but
not
like
quite
paper.
pop-up, but it is
Oh,
paper
It was
train.
called
The,
Tenfold
Paper
Dungeon.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was called Tenfold Dungeon.
Yeah.
And they apparently had a huge disaster. Their crate container literally fell and sunk to the bottom of the ocean.
No.
You're kidding me.
Yeah, that's what it was told.
sucks.
And then the other crate got stuck in the port, and they wouldn't release. The customs wouldn't release
Yeah.
it. So it just sat there forever.
That
and
sucks.
that's why it was in our local stores, was because
It just got stuck
No,
here?
they bought like a bulk of it because they were in big trouble.
Oh my god.
That's
and
so
so
sad. I hope
you
that
know,
doesn't happen.
No, we're working with that's if you try
Our
to.
crate could fall in the ocean.
What if we fall in the ocean, Brian?
Well, first of all, we'll have insurance on everything.
Yeah, well, that was my other question. Is you get crate insurance? Is
You
that
do
what
get crate insurance. Not everyone does though, because it's like that's the risk you
Because
take.
what are the odds of it falling in the ocean?
Yeah, what are they
Better
gonna
than
do?
you think, apparently.
Drop it in the ocean.
And then two, we're working with board game manufacturers and distributors who distribute all the biggest board games to the world. And so they
Monopoly.
they know how to get through, Monopoly, Scrabble,
Oh my
Risk.
God.
No,
I wish.
But they know how to get things through customs. They know how to ship them. They know how to warehouse them, keep it organized. So our Kickstarter has all the exact dates, but it shouldn't be too long. It's going to be a reasonable timeline. We don't have a lot of project risks or anything like that.
That's the idea.
This is far more of like you order it, we make them, we send them to you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So if that answered your question, there you go.
Fuck, that's
It's
like,
complicated. It's hard to predict when it'll ship because, global shipping right now is a bit of a mess.
Yeah, global shipping is delayed. That's the only reason this is, I'm not sitting out here being like, this date, because global shipping is a little tricky.
But look at the Kickstarter.
But the Kickstarter has detail,
Thank you, Heechonk. I like that name. It's a good name. Hey Titans, I play Nurgle Demons Mono Faction, eagerly waiting on the new codex. Any ideas for the new Mono Faction bonuses in the coming codex? I feel like Nurgle's and Tzeentch current ones are bad. Isn't Tzeentch's +1 invuln?
No.
Oh, they
faction
just have
bonus.
it. It's not their Mono Faction. Well, they currently don't have a Mono Faction bonus.
Yeah,
do
well.
No, they do.
They're talking about the loci.
They have the
Tzeentch one
loci
is so
where
bad we never use
You
it.
roll a dice and then you can't hit on that number, but it doesn't count sixes.
It doesn't count sixes?
Yeah, I don't think it can be a 6. Can it?
No, I think it can be six.
Oh,
So
I
six
thought
is,
sixes
there's a
always
base rule of
succeeded.
the game that sixes always hit,
No,
Yeah.
no, what it is
which would override that rule.
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Anyways, yeah.
But that's new to 9th edition. In 8th edition, that wasn't a rule.
right. But even
So
then,
in
it's
8th
like so
edition, it
random.
did
It's like
work.
hopefully I roll something good that I'm not already
If
missing
it worked
on.
in shooting and combat, it could be interesting.
Yeah, for sure. And then the Nurgle one, I think it could be better, but it's the sixes do an extra damage.
Yeah, no, it's actually good.
It's good in theory, yeah.
But doesn't
Yeah.
it double
in
your
theory,
damage?
you're right.
No, it's +1 damage. You're thinking of the Virulent
There's
Blessing
yeah.
is the spell that doubles.
Yeah.
And so if you have like something that doubles, it'll double it and then add +1.
Yeah.
But it could be better. Like that's kind of weird. I think they should be redesigned. The Khorne one, reroll charge, is great. The Slaanesh one, advance and charge. Here's the thing. I actually have a critique about that one too. I like it, but I think all Slaanesh demons should just do that innately and it shouldn't be tied
Yeah.
to like, well, you have to have a character there.
In this climate, yeah.
You know. But then what are
this
some other
day and
cool
age.
ones for Tzeentch and Nurgle? Like what could they be? Like
+1 to cast.
+1 to cast. But then that doesn't affect like flamers and horror. Well, doesn't
Well, it affects the
flamers.
guy who's casting a spell to buff the Flamers Nors.
Nah, it's got to be something that works for everything.
Let's just all agree that the demons across the board all need better abilities, right? Like,
Sure.
these are all not cool and exciting compared to everything
Tzeentch,
else.
Trixie, everything's allowed to fall back and count as not moving.
Oh my god, it's so good.
Fall back, so
So you can fall back in Psychic.
And charge.
You can fall back in Shoot.
And charge.
fall back, shoot, charge, and psychic.
Maybe not
amazing.
charge. Maybe not charge.
Fall back and psychic.
Fall
Fall
back,
back,
shoot,
shoot,
and
and
Psychic.
psychic. I'm here for it.
Army what?
I'm here for it. That's good.
Trixie.
And Nurgle?
Not allowed to fall back, but neither is your opponent.
That would be amazing.
Nobody can ever fall back from Nurgle.
That would be
Wow.
so good.
Jeez.
Oh my god.
But then again, there's so many good combat units these days.
Uh-huh.
It's not as good as it would have been in 8th. Right? Like in 8th, everything was all
Sure.
shooting, you're like tied up and it's a big problem.
that doesn't make it
Now
not
it's
good.
like you're in here with me.
Yeah,
That's like
Rustalkers can't fall back.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But you're right, it's cool. But
I like
those are the kinds of abilities you want, abilities that make you go like, ooh, like so.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know?
exactly.
So, and generally that's what they've been doing with every other codex, right? Like,
Nothing so small that you literally won't use it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
exactly.
it's just too much work. Remembering this is more work than
Than
it's worth.
doing it.
That's how bad it is, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
Thank you, Hamsterdam. Also a cool name.
That's
I
awesome.
like Amsterdam.
Thinking of doing a khaki scheme for Tau, wondering what to do as the secondary or undersuit color, dark green, dark brown, or something else.
You know, I've got such a boring answer for you.
Why not
It's
black?
gonna look amazing in black.
Yeah, why not black?
If
For the
you're-
undercarriage?
yeah,
'Cause they
If
have,
you're
like-
khaki on top and
They have
black.
like skin suits, and then over that goes their armor.
Well, what about this? It's black, but it's like Korax black.
yeah, like not in all the way
It's
black.
a little matte, a little gray.
Okay. That meant nothing to me, but that's okay.
I know what it means.
I can't tell the difference if I looked at two
It's a
blacks.
little bit
You would.
both
4X black is quite a bit softer. Like,
Yeah.
it's not as deep.
It's like the stealth black.
Yeah.
Because they're using all these words that don't apply to colors in my head. It's a soft black.
It's a soft black.
All right, so if I touch it, it's softer. Got it.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I think black with khaki is going to look great. What you're describing is kind of like the classic Tau scheme.
That's kind of where I'm.
Which is
yeah.
like khaki and the Tau ochre color,
Yeah.
which is like their brown / khaki color,
XP88.
is done. Yeah. Do they call it XP88?
They
these days?
do
two
now.
colors.
And there's Tau ochre.
There's Tau ochre and
Yes,
XP88.
one is
and,
the highlight.
and one's
for
the
the
highlight, one's the other.
Yeah.
And so if you're using those colors with the black undercarriage, that's the classic Tau scheme.
Go all the way.
Let me tell you this. I have a million Tau models.
Boy, here it is.
You
I've heard this-
are already maybe working on some.
Maybe, yeah.
And I'm probably going to do another Tau army in Tau ochre
Please stop.
when the codex drops.
much Tau.
This is like a whole thing.
we have like 8 Tau armies.
What? That's not true.
You have 2. I
He has
technically have
2?
1.
What do you mean he has 2?
He has his old Tau and his new Tau.
Which it's not even on the shelf really.
Your old
That doesn't
Tau.
really count as 2 Tau armies.
Well,
You
he
just
has
bumping up
like
your numbers. He's trying to inflate them.
9,000, 20,000 points. It's 2 armies. It's 2
Is it?
Tau armies.
Alright.
It's 2 Tau armies.
You're capping out on
They're
your
two
slot.
different
I have
paint
one.
schemes.
I have 2 armies in the sense that like one is based one way,
Yeah.
and it was painted a long time ago, kind of mediocre to badly by
Sure,
me.
yeah.
And then there's a new one that was painted with a lot of the exact same colors, and
Wow.
so
Yeah.
from like 12 feet away, you'd be like, that's the same army.
Yeah.
But
He has 6 Riptides.
It is the same
It's
army.
2 armies.
I've never heard this. Oh yeah, well I painted this one
It's-
nicer. This therefore
It's like
constitutes a new army.
2
It's
paint
like-
schemes,
I
2
hear what you're
pacing
saying, though. It's
schemes.
enough
this?
to count as
It's
multiple. armies.
duplicate of the same. So Brian has 2.
It's like I think it's the genetics rule.
If I count as
If they
having
can
1,
produce a new army, then they are a new army.
if I count as owning a
a new
Tau army,
species.
Brian definitely counts as owning 2.
Either way, it's a lot of Tau.
Wait, hold
think
on. No, okay,
So he has 2. I have 1. Zach has 1. Brett has 1. So we're at 5.
you don't count.
He
What do you
has
mean I
one.
don't count?
He has one.
I tried to use his, but he
Don't
wouldn't
use
let
it.
us.
No,
I
you don't
won't.
want that.
You don't.
I was
Nobody
like-
wants that.
I don't want it.
It'd
You
be
don't want
funny,
it.
though.
Nobody wants it.
So it doesn't count.
Nobody
No.
wants this.
I was like, we need to use it.
But I do own it.
We should do. You remember how someone said we should do like a 4-way game?
Yeah.
Just 4-way. All of
Four-way
us is Tau.
I love it.
It's the only time we could all have our Tau armies showing. You know, funny enough, our local club, you know, is many members. At some point, it was like 40, 50 members.
Yeah.
And over half had a Tau army. And then there was this like 6-month period where every new member
Was Tau.
was Tau.
Yeah.
And we were like, we're going to have to start banning these people. Like, they're going to be like, hey, can I join the club? It's like, oh, you have
No.
Tau? Sorry, you
Go
go on the
away.
wait list.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like we need to let in at least one Imperium player before we can have another Tau. So then, if you played any other army than Tau, you could easily get a
Just
game.
get in for free. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because people would be like, "Hey, who wants to play this weekend?" And all the Tau players would put up their hand and be like, "Okay, I guess I'll play like Space Marines," and they're like, "Yeah, I'll play you." So I almost painted another army when I joined the club, just so that they weren't all
have
Tau on
not
Tau
Tau,
matches.
yeah.
That's why Zach started his Eldar.
Yeah, so that it wasn't all Tau. So that's the way to
He
encourage
just
people.
plays Tau adjacent.
Yeah,
but
and encourage your friends to get other armies by just painting the same army they have,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you'll pressure them into changing. It's great.
All right, last question. Are you ready, Brian?
All right.
Last super chat. And
Did
this
it.
is for realsies, guys. Last super chat.
All right.
Thank you, Super Reedy. Just a quick thanks for doing enough streams this week for me to finally put a 3rd layer of yellow on this gladiator. Softly weeps into the water pool. No, there's another super chat. No.
Yes. Well,
I think it was the delay. You know what I mean? Like
What was the delay.
Galdorf didn't see
Thank
it.
you, Super Reedy.
appreciate
you
it.
guys did make a lot of content this week.
Gladiator.
There was a lot of content.
We did what? 6 shows? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 shows.
I was in 6 streams.
Amazing.
6 streams. That's
So many.
good, but it wasn't as many as the last time I was here.
And there were small breaks.
There were teeny tiny breaks.
I was in 5, but I
Teeny-
produced
teeny,
6.
teeny tiny breaks.
I never want to make another clip again until Monday.
I
Monday is
never
in
want to
2
make
days.
another clip again.
Well, it's
Until-
not that I want to do Mondays, but I have to.
Yeah.
I'll be free on Monday. I'll be.
Oh, you want to do clips for me?
No, I will have a lot of work to catch up on. Because I was not doing my work while I was doing my work.
I don't know. How can they do that? That
Well,
makes no sense.
they pay us a lot. That's how they can do it. They pay us
Like,
stupid amounts of money
so they can abuse you.
so they can abuse us
Bridger, you have rights.
quarterly.
I believe in you.
Um,
You may not want them, but you have rights.
I mean, what's one 80-hour work week every quarter? That's not that much.
Look, that's how much I work when I'm here. So it sounds,
It's not that much.
sounds about right.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We had a question here from Blake. In your next Kickstarter, will you make smaller entry for game stores? We currently have a bundle that's for like terrain or like game stores or for tournaments, but it's 35. And he's saying 35 seems like a bit too much.
Oh, I see. For small stores, yeah.
The answer is yes, but also this campaign we will probably introduce that. So what I've been doing
Looking
is
at
I've
you,
been
Blake.
asking people who represent game stores to email us at Tabletop Titan Social
At gmail.com.
gmail.com.
Nailed it.
And I'm kind of collecting all of those requests. And then I'm going to kind of figure out what people are looking for
Right.
from the stores. And then I'll post a new subscription tier for stores. Or, we can handle the stores through the campaign manager after the fact. That's what often people do. That's what like a Gloomhaven did or something like that. And so I'm working on it. Email us. That really helps me organize. Email us, tell us what you're looking for. And before the campaign is over, hopefully within about a week, I've solved this problem for you.
Have you looked at? There's a bunch of marketing people emails. Did you see that?
There's a lot of people who, when you
Just
put up a
want
Kickstarter,
our money,
they just spam you to be like, we could help promote you.
Yeah.
And we've been using BackerKit already, which is like the standard Kickstarter pledge manager, promoters, and they've been great.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right, last question. For real, though. For real this time. For real. Last question. Thank you, Caldorf. I'd buy a Titan-themed Crate Mountain add-on. Maybe it's a stretch goal. Seriously, though, my daughter and I are excited to get our terrain. Taco stand add-on?
Yes.
Can we get Taco Bell branding when we make our Marvel Crisis Protocol terrain?
Not after the review,
To have a
you just
Taco
gave them
Bell?
on their card game.
They didn't make
They're
this
probably
card
so
game.
disappointed now. They're like, oh, we thought he really
They
liked Taco
were, they were
Bell.
like about to pick up the phone to call the sponsor.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh.
They didn't make this card game.
Now, Crate Mountain, like, cathedrals are cool, but you say this is our tallest tile ever. It should just be a multiple fold-out of Crate
It's the whole
Mountain.
table.
It's, like, not usable at all. Like, you should never use this, but it's just a giant...
It's 45 by 60.
Yeah.
It's a whole table, and you just unfold it.
It's
and
one
just
tile.
Crick.
I was going to say one tile could make a...
No,
a
it's
square
this
cube.
big, but it unfolds like 40 times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's just a precarious
It's
Crate Mountain.
this
But
tall.
you end up playing like a kill team on it, where it's like a junkyard, and you're just like running around it, basically. It could work.
I mean, Junkyard is cool.
Yeah, Junkyard's cool. I think in a future set, we'll probably try to have more of that classic, crates and buildings and things like that. And maybe, just maybe, we'll look into a Crate Mountain because it is an important part of our lore.
Right.
It is.
It's been a long time since we had a Crate Mountain. Also,
It has.
Yeah.
We sent a lot of our crates away.
We had to give them a lot of them up.
Oh, did we? Oh, yeah.
We had a bunch.
Whose crates were they? We were
Anthony?
borrowing someone's crate. That's right.
A lot of them
Give more
were from
crates.
like COVID, and then when people started seeing fuel again, we
We
gave
kind of
them
just
back.
You know what
kept
we need? We
everybody's
need to do
terrain.
like a hobby
We
stream.
still have some.
We need to do a hobby stream where we rebuild Crate Mountain.
That'd be
Yeah.
amazing.
Just paint some
Pretty
crates.
expensive
God.
hobby stream.
There are some
Worth it.
packages that they sell every now and then, which are the cheapest ways to get crates. There was this one, which was a kill team box.
Oh, yeah.
And it came with like 6 crates. And for whatever reason, they were selling the crates at like 1/10 the price of the
Right.
crates.
What?
Yeah,
From GW?
from G-Dubs. And so
rare.
the crates were mega cheap in this little Killzone terrain box. Like you would see them side by
That's how
side.
you
by
know
side.
they
It
were,
was like
they were pushing that
they
product.
like made a mistake. It was like 3 crates, like $40, and it was like 6 crates plus models, like $25. And you're like, what? Okay.
Whoa.
So yeah, it was a really good way to get crates.
we get those.
And that's where I got my crates for my red ones that are for my big city board. I just
Yeah.
bought like 2 of those, and I was like, I'm hooked up.
Because they are expensive.
They are. But
I have the frontline ones, which are good. They're big. They're a bit different scale.
they're chunky.
Yeah.
but they're super cheap. So.
Yeah, but they don't do the like interlocking. So like you
Well, they
can't-
just sit.
they're just big.
They
yeah.
just sit better
Yeah,
nicer
yeah,
anyways. Because the other one's like, oh, we're all spiky, but now the spikes interlock.
Yeah,
Whereas
yeah.
the frontline one's like, we're just flat.
Yeah.
Anyways, do we do
Okay.
it?
That's it.
We did it. Well,
Yeah.
this was a really exciting week. It's always a lot of fun to be back here, in my home here,
Right.
and playing games. This was a particularly special week. I'll definitely remember this one for a long time,
Yeah.
launching this terrain. But of course, as we said, we've got so much left to do. We've got this stretch goal ahead of us, so still a long way to go. And we thank you all for everyone who supported us so far.
We really appreciate it,
We super
honestly.
appreciate it. It's
Yeah.
it's amazing. But if you're on the fence, I'm here to tell you, this is an amazing product, right? Like, you got to do this. This is
like
the
it.
future of wargaming, in our opinions, and you're definitely going to want to check it out. And it'll definitely help us support it and try so many new things. And who knows, we might have other stretch goals and
Yeah.
lots of other cool stuff
Cool new
coming up.
stuff.
So lots to look forward to there. But even if you've already backed it, or maybe you're not ready to just yet, you can follow the campaign. That way you'll know before it ends. And you could share it, whether that be on social or anywhere else. And just tell people that you think it's cool if you do, and that definitely goes a long way.
Absolutely. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. We will catch you all next time on the Tabletop.
Bye.